This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work. Counting down 10 more weeks to the election, I am looking at something profoundly political. I want to talk about the NBA stars, basketball heroes, and super athletes who took the extraordinary step, and they weren't alone, in saying there would be no business as usual, no sporting business as usual, until a political problem was solved. The political problem: white police shooting black people in the back yet again, proving that in this society it's not yet the case that black lives matter. This is extraordinary. These leading athletes were not striking, withholding their labor, a classic labor movement activity. They weren't doing it to get higher wages. They weren't doing it to get better working conditions. They were doing it to change society. They had a political objective, and they didn't hide it, and they didn't deny it. They put it right front and center. And why did they do that? Because the existing political institutions failed them, did not take their concerns seriously, did not address the problems that have to be solved so that black lives matter just like everybody else's. The political parties failed them. You know, those folks who put on those expensive shows over the last couple of weeks, Republicans and Democrats. They haven't solved the problem of race relations in this society, the subordination of African American citizens to be second class or third class and treated across the board like that. They haven't solved that problem. They haven't come up with solutions. They barely recognize that problem or its extent or its consequences. So they couldn't function as the political expression of the concerns of these African American athletes and their fellow athletes. Here's another institution that's supposed to, in some way at least, put forth the political concerns of working class people, the labor movement. It has also been stunningly unable, unwilling to move politically on this issue. And so these athletes did what is very historic. If the existing systems of politics cannot or will not act on the urgent political changes that have to be made, social changes that have to be made to address an urgent problem, well, then working class people will develop their own organs of political expression, their own political parties, their own labor unions, their own social movements. Black Lives Matter emerged before because existing institutions could not do or say or act in a way to make that issue appear on the agenda of this society. So Black Lives Matter emerged. Some years ago, a single football player, Colin Kaepernick, took a knee, and people didn't pay attention to that. And they didn't change the society to deal with the issue he wanted to raise by getting down on a knee. We didn't read that sign as a society really well, did we? And are we going to read this sign? Because this time it's a bigger sign and a louder sign. No, not getting down on a knee, but withdrawing your labor So there will be no spectacle, no money-making, profit-generating playoff series, etc. No business as usual until this issue is dealt with and the changes made to stop this from happening. It's a sign of the breakdown of our system when the people who have a legitimate issue cannot work anymore with the existing political institutions because they're deaf, dumb, and blind on the urgent issues. They engage in PR contests. They don't deal with the political realities. This is a very important moment because working people, yes, very well-paid ones, but working people who make profits for their employers withhold their labor to make a political point and to make political social change. They are role models for what the working class has to do across the board. Withhold its labor so that we are not treated to the spectacle of the failure to prepare for this virus and the failure to contain it. Yeah, we have to withhold our labor so we're not confronted with a society that is willing to throw tens of millions of us out of work, out of income, to savage the working class while the richest among us get richer still. That obscenity alone could have and should have inspired the working class of this country to do what those athletes have now done. Bravo. Change is coming, and they're showing one major way to do it.